big question many of you have, will you have to pay back your stimulus check? Will you be taxed on this money? Will you have to send in payments to the federal government? I know it sounds crazy, folks. This is a question many of you are asking. A lot of people are thinking that you're going to have to do this, and there's a lot of scams that have emerged as a result of it. So to answer this big question right now, I want to. Will you have to pay back your $1,200 stimulus check? Don't fall for it, folks. There's like 5 myths floating around out there right now, and I want to go through these 5 myths. I've had people writing me saying, I'm going to be taxed on this. When do we have to pay this back? Do you have to pay back your stimulus money? Here's the first myth. No, you do not have to pay your stimulus money back. It's not a loan. It's not a loan. It's a check mailed to you, okay? You do not have to pay this stimulus check back. The federal government is writing you a check. You get to cash it, do whatever you want with it. You do not have to pay it back. So we're specifically talking about the March 27th economic impact payments. And it depends on how much money you make, of course. And it's all based on your 2018 or 2019 tax return if you've filed your 2019 tax return. Again, individuals who are making $75,000 will get $1,200. Married couples with adjusted gross incomes up to $150,000 will get $2,400. And they'll also pay you an additional $500 per dependent, per child, under the age of 17. So it can't be that you're taking care of your elderly grandmother. That's not the case. It has to be for every qualifying child under the age of 17. The IRS determines your payment amount. It looks at your adjusted gross income based on your tax returns and mails you that check. And of course, you can go to the IRS's website, to irs.gov, click on that IRS tracking tool to see where your payment is. I know there's been a lot of bugs with it, but a lot of you have seen and been able to get through to it, and you've gotten your updates. So here's a second myth. This is amazing, but I've heard these, I've seen the emails from people, I've seen them here in the comments. Does my stimulus money get applied to my tax bill if I owe taxes? No. If you owe taxes to the IRS, this has nothing to do with it, okay? When you get this stimulus check, this is yours, okay? Unless you owe child support or something like that. This is yours. The IRS won't automatically shave off your stimulus money to pay down taxes that you owe. This is to get money in your pocket to help. That's what the IRS is saying. They're saying we're not going to touch it. You can even read it right on their website if you go to their frequently asked questions section of irs.gov. It's right there in black and white. There's one exception, the only exception, if you are behind on your child support payments. The IRS says it will offset the stimulus check amount based on the past due child support amount. That's important. And we learned that there are like an enormous number of people who are behind on their child support payments. It was millions, and I don't know if it was 3 or 30. I know it's a big difference, but it was millions of people are behind on paying their child support. And you know, they will be garnished. But there are ways around that, of course. If you get the check, you can cash it instead of put it in a bank account where it would be garnished. So there are some ways around that if you need that money right now. But if you owe child support and a child is not being able to get food because you're keeping the money, you know, come on. The other myth I want to talk about. Will my stimulus payment reduce the tax refund I would normally get? Again, no. Has nothing to do with your tax refund. Okay? Nothing to do with it. You're going to get the refund you qualify for and this check, and that's it. The refund you get for the normal operation of the tax code has not changed at all. So if you're expecting a refund, this has nothing to do with it. But I should say, while I'm here, we're talking financial intelligence. If you get a tax refund, you should fire your accountant, because good tax planning happens all year long. And if you get a tax refund, that means the government had your money in its own account, making itself its own money. Wouldn't you be better served to have that money in your own account earning interest or investing? So when you get a tax refund, what that means is you have a bad accountant. And tax planning should be happening all year long, so that you're planning throughout the year. And when we file our taxes, I want to get nothing back, zero, big goose egg. I don't want to pay anything more because we've been planning all year, and I don't want to get anything back. If I get money back, that means we planned poorly. I don't want the government sitting on my money. I want my own money in my own pocket that I can invest, buy real estate, gold, silver, keep it in an interest-bearing account, those types of things, not the government. Okay, another myth. Is my check taxable income? This is a big one. The answer is no. This is not counted as income, okay? This is not income. When you win the lottery or you collect legal settlements, for example, the IRS will factor those income sources into what you've made during the year. So if you get like a legal settlement for something, that's income. That's considered income. This is not, okay? And that can bump you into a higher tax bracket with a higher tax rate, but it won't happen here. So if you get like money from the lottery or whatever, a big windfall from an inheritance or something like that, you have to check with your CPA on how much, but that's when you'll pay taxes, not this. The payment is not income and you will not owe taxes on your payment. And here's one more. I made too much money in 2018 and 2019, so I won't be getting any stimulus money, right? Wrong, maybe. Because it's important to remember the stimulus money is technically speaking a tax credit for the 2020 tax season. So if you had a normal job in 2019 and made good money, remember, it's a credit for 2020. So you might actually end up getting it next year. I know it's crazy, but if you don't qualify this year, but now you're out of a job, you're like, now I'm out of work. If they're basing this on last year, I had a job. Now I don't have a job. I'm not going to get a check. Unfortunately, you won't get it now, but you'll get it later, like a year later. You'll get it back as on your taxes. That sucks. I mean, let's be honest. And look, 22 million people have already filed for unemployment benefits in the past month. So this is going to be something that you would get later on if you made a lot of money last year. So you just need to make sure that you get that credit back on your taxes then. But to answer the main question here, do I have to pay back my stimulus, or will I be taxed on this stimulus money? The answer is no. What about the PPP loan for small businesses? Small businesses who got those checks to help them with payroll. Now, they cannot also file expenses using that money. So let's say they get that check and then they want to go and pay certain expenses with it, whatever expenses they had, because you can use a portion of it for expenses. Normally on your taxes as a business owner, you'd be able to claim those expenses. Not if you got the PPP loan. You can't. It'd basically be like double taxation or double benefits, double tax benefits, because they're giving you free money and you're also going to claim it on your taxes as an expense. So you've got to make sure you do not claim your expenses. That comes right from our CPA. Do not try to claim these expenses if you have a PPP loan. So that's that. That's the latest on the stimulus. That's the latest on how it affects your taxes. And I would love now to have you all subscribe to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and give me a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And we'll always be back with more content.